The $1 secret that could bankrupt the $11 billion mosquito industry, the $11 billion trap. Every evening as darkness falls, millions of households face the same nightmare. Mosquitoes invade homes, disrupting sleep and spreading diseases. People reach for sprays, light coils, and run foggers, desperately seeking relief. These products offer temporary comfort, killing visible mosquitoes for a few hours. But by the next evening, the cycle repeats itself. Behind this daily struggle lies an enormous industry worth $11 billion globally. Companies manufacture countless products: aerosol sprays, mosquito coils, electric vaporizers, and chemical foggers. Store shelves overflow with options, each promising protection. The market continues to grow year after year, with new brands and formulations constantly emerging. What most consumers do not realize is that none of these products address the root cause. Mosquitoes breed in stagnant water, completing their life cycle in just 7 to 10 days. Every product on the market targets adult mosquitoes, providing temporary relief without stopping reproduction. This is not an oversight, but a fundamental aspect of the business model. If any company created a truly permanent solution that eliminated breeding cycles, it would destroy the need for repeat purchases. The entire industry depends on customers buying the same products week after week, month after month, year after year. A one-time solution would collapse this recurring revenue stream. The financial impact on ordinary families is staggering. An average household spends between $500 and $3,000 over a lifetime on mosquito control products. This money buys temporary relief, but never solves the underlying problem. Families remain trapped in an endless cycle of purchasing products that are deliberately designed to require constant replenishment. The industry profits, while consumers continue suffering, unaware they are funding a system built on planned failure. The forbidden history. From Havana to Panama. Over a century ago, a crisis gripped Havana, Cuba. Yellow fever was decimating the population, killing more people than bullets during wartime. The disease spread rapidly through the city, overwhelming hospitals and terrifying residents. Military personnel, civilians, and families fell victim to the mysterious illness that seemed impossible to control. The turning point came through an unconventional approach. Major William Crawford Gorgas, a U.S. Army officer, rejected the prevailing methods of his time. Instead of spraying chemicals to kill adult mosquitoes, he focused on their breeding grounds. He identified that mosquitoes reproduced in standing water found throughout the city. Gorgas launched a systematic campaign targeting these breeding sites, draining swamps, covering water containers, and eliminating every possible collection point where mosquitoes could lay eggs. The results were extraordinary. Within 90 days, yellow fever cases in Havana dropped dramatically. The disease that had terrorized the city for years was effectively controlled. The success continued when the same strategy was applied to the Panama Canal Zone, where yellow fever had previously made construction nearly impossible. Again, within 3 months, the disease was contained. Workers could finally labor without constant fear of infection. The construction project that had stalled for years resumed progress. This historical success demonstrated a fundamental truth. Addressing breeding cycles eliminates the disease at its source. No chemical spray could achieve what simple environmental management accomplished. The approach was inexpensive, required no ongoing purchases, and solved the problem permanently. The 1940s brought another discovery. Scientists identified Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, or BTI, a naturally occurring soil bacterium that targets mosquito larvae without harming humans, animals, or plants. BTI offered a biological solution that could be applied directly to water sources, eliminating breeding grounds naturally and effectively. This bacterial approach aligned perfectly with the proven principles that Gorgas had established decades earlier. Yet despite these historical successes and natural alternatives, modern society abandoned these proven methods in favor of products designed for repeat consumption. The miracle molecule. The science and power of BTI. Hidden within ordinary soil exists a remarkable bacterium called Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, commonly known as BTI. This naturally occurring microorganism possesses a unique property that has remained largely unknown to the general public. BTI is lethal to mosquito larvae, but completely harmless to virtually every other living creature. Scientists discovered this bacterial strain in the Negev desert of Israel, where it had existed for millennia as part of the natural ecosystem. Understanding how BTI works requires examining the mosquito life cycle at a microscopic level. When mosquito larvae consume water containing BTI, the bacteria enter their digestive system. Inside the larval midgut, BTI releases crystalline proteins. These proteins dissolve in the highly alkaline environment of the mosquito larval stomach, which has a pH level between 9 and 11. Once dissolved, the proteins bind to specific receptors found only in mosquito larvae intestines. This binding creates pores in the gut wall, causing the larvae to stop feeding. Within hours, the larvae die before they can develop into adult mosquitoes. The safety profile of BTI is exceptional and scientifically documented. Humans possess an acidic digestive system with a pH between 1 and 3. This acidic environment prevents BTI proteins from activating. Even if consumed, the bacteria passes harmlessly through the human body. The same applies to birds, fish, beneficial insects like bees, pets, and livestock. Their digestive chemistry simply does not trigger the toxic proteins. BTI targets exclusively the alkaline gut environment found in mosquito, black fly, and fungus gnat larvae. This specificity makes it one of the most selective biological controls ever discovered. The credibility of BTI extends to the highest levels of global health authority. Since 1981, the World Health Organization has endorsed and utilized BTI in large-scale mosquito control programs across Africa and Asia. Countries battling malaria epidemics have deployed BTI in millions of water sources. Public health agencies apply it to irrigation canals, rice paddies, and standing water collections in villages. Decades of field use have confirmed both its effectiveness and its safety. Studies involving thousands of applications show no harmful effects on human populations or ecosystems. Despite this overwhelming scientific validation and institutional support, BTI remains virtually absent from consumer markets in developed nations, where profitable chemical alternatives dominate store shelves. The corporate sabotage, the secret war across 14 states. When BTI received regulatory approval in the United States during 1981, it represented an existential threat to the mosquito control industry. Major corporations like SC Johnson, Reckitt Benckiser, and other chemical manufacturers suddenly faced competition from a solution that cost mere dollars and required no repeat purchases. BTI offered complete larval control through a single application to water sources. It eliminated the need for weekly sprays, monthly foggers, and constant chemical purchases. For an industry built on recurring consumer spending, BTI was catastrophic. The industry response was swift and coordinated. Between 1987 and 1994, a deliberate campaign unfolded across 14 states. Environmental complaints were filed against BTI, claiming ecological concerns and safety uncertainties. These complaints triggered regulatory reviews and investigations. State environmental agencies launched studies questioning whether BTI could harm non-target insects or disrupt aquatic ecosystems. The complaints were presented as legitimate environmental protection efforts, but the timing and coordination revealed a different purpose. Every major mosquito control market experienced simultaneous regulatory challenges to BTI approval and distribution. Simultaneously, an information blackout descended on the consumer market. Educational campaigns about BTI disappeared. Retail shelves that might have stocked affordable bacterial solutions instead filled with expensive chemical alternatives. Advertisements promoting BTI dwindled to nothing, while spending on chemical spray marketing exploded. Consumers who asked about BTI at stores found it unavailable or discontinued. The product that could have solved mosquito problems for under $5 per application vanished from public awareness, while $45 bottles of chemical spray occupied prominent shelf space. The financial disparity revealed the true motivation. A household purchasing BTI once per season would spend approximately $30 to $50 annually. That same household, using chemical sprays, spent 10 times more. When multiplied across millions of families, the difference represented billions in annual revenue. Allowing BTI to flourish would transfer enormous sums away from corporate profits to consumer savings. The corporate strategy succeeded almost completely. By the late 1990s, most American consumers had never heard of BTI. The regulatory battles created sufficient doubt and delay that market adoption never reached critical mass. Chemical manufacturers maintained their dominance. Meanwhile, the public remained unaware that an affordable, safe, natural solution had been systematically suppressed through regulatory manipulation, disguised as environmental protection. The billion-dollar industry continued uninterrupted, built on the foundation of deliberately preventing consumers from accessing a superior alternative. The backyard revolution, reclaiming summer. Despite decades of industry suppression, BTI continues to be used by institutions that prioritize effectiveness over profit. The United States Army deploys BTI in military installations across the globe to protect personnel from disease-carrying mosquitoes. Organic farmers apply it to control mosquito populations while maintaining chemical-free agricultural operations. Throughout Europe, public health agencies and municipalities utilize BTI as their primary mosquito management strategy. These organizations chose BTI not because of marketing campaigns, but because it works, and because they answer to different priorities than commercial profit. The solution available to every household follows a straightforward protocol requiring minimal investment. Begin by identifying all standing water sources within your property. Check gutters and downspouts where water collects after rain. Examine bird baths, plant saucers, and flower pots that hold water. Inspect puddles in yards, drainage areas, and any depression in the ground that accumulates moisture. Look for clogged drains, neglected swimming pools, and water barrels. Mosquitoes need only a bottle cap of stagnant water to complete their breeding cycle. Once all sources are identified, apply BTI granules or liquid suspension directly to each location according to package instructions. One application protects a water source for 7 to 10 days, covering the entire mosquito life cycle. Reapply after heavy rain or every 10 days during active season. The total cost per household averages $12 for a season of complete protection. The impact multiplies when communities act together. If a single household treats standing water, neighboring properties continue serving as breeding grounds. Mosquitoes from untreated areas still reach treated homes. However, when entire neighborhoods implement the BTI protocol simultaneously, the effect transforms dramatically. Studies show that community-wide larval control reduces biting pressure by 60 to 80%. Mosquito populations crash across the entire area. Streets that were unbearable in summer become comfortable again. Children play outdoors without chemical exposure. Evening gatherings resume without constant swatting and scratching. The change becomes visible within 2 weeks and pronounced within a month. The path forward requires breaking the industry's information monopoly. The knowledge exists. The product is available. The safety is proven. The cost is minimal. What remains is spreading awareness that an affordable organic solution has always been available while corporations actively prevented its distribution. Consumers must demand BTI availability in local stores. Schools and municipal governments should implement community-wide programs. Public health departments should educate citizens about breeding cycle interruption, rather than promoting chemical dependency. Families should share this knowledge with neighbors and friends, creating grassroots demand that forces retailers to stock what they have deliberately hidden. The summer that felt conquered by chemicals and corporate profit can be reclaimed through simple biological science and collective action. The vault containing this solution stands open. The only remaining question is whether communities will choose to use it.